That was absolutely terrible. Yo guys, what's good? My name is Callum Dolby and welcome back to another video on the channel. So this is going to be the Posh review of that absolutely awful game against Barnsley on Saturday. So I've had 2 days now to process everything. So it happened Saturday. I'm recording this on Monday morning, and I've really had a big think about this, and just where do we go from here? I really don't know what we're doing. You know, Williams came in, and let's call it for what it was. It was a new manager bounce. I know the manager bounce normally doesn't last like 4 games, 3 games, whatever, but it really was. You can tell that that bounce is really there, and the fact that we've gone from that to where we are now is really concerning. I know this is the FA Cup and it's not really that big of a deal to a lot of people anymore, but this was a huge opportunity for us to get a big payday and clear some of our debt and just basically push our club a bit more. And we've just failed it with flying colours. It's quite mad how much we just don't seem to care. Like, I don't really know how to describe it. It's like we've just gone from being these like world beaters, obviously beating like Stockport when they were top of the league, you know, and scoring goals for fun. I think we scored like 10 and conceded 1 in like 3 or 4 games, and that one was in the Virtue Trophy and the group stage, and no one really cared about that. And now the players just look so lost. Like, this system that we're playing, obviously passing it out from the back, is what got Fergie into trouble, right? I see someone on Twitter, I think, just say like, we've sacked a manager playing out from the back because the team's not good enough, and we've replaced it with another manager that plays out from the back. And I agree in some sentiment, but it's just like the lack of effort is just so alarming to me. You know, the players, I don't think it's the manager, right? I think Williams is a brilliant manager. You know, he's done well with teams that can play out from the back and scored a load of goals with teams that he's been at. But this team is just incapable, and these players are just so bad at just finding attacking phases of play, and it's embarrassing what we're watching. I've never felt like this about a Posh team before. It's I don't want to go and watch these players play football, and even when I'm watching on the TV, I'm just like, why am I doing this? Like, to the fans that go, you know, travel hundreds of miles to away games and stuff like that. I applaud you. This team does not deserve that support. They are absolutely terrible, and a lot of them just don't look like they care either. And that's the most jarring thing. It's like, you can be a bad footballer, right? But at least look like you give a shit. And it just doesn't look like these players do at all. And I'll get into my player rating soon, but there's going to be a lot of low marks, as you can imagine. And it's just, I'm just baffled. I don't know where we go from here. And that's the most concerning thing. If I could see a clear vision of what we're doing, and, you know, like what's going on, then that's fine, and the players are just trying to play for a bad patch. But I'm just lost, and I think that's the worst feeling as a football fan, is where you don't know what direction and where your club's going. I mean, the direction we are going in is fucking relegation. Let's be real to each other. But just to have no clear like identity, and it's just concerning to me. I mean, I don't want to go too over the top, but we're really in a battle this season. I mean, we're in December, for fuck's sake, and we're in the relegation zone, and we're just losing games for fun and not scoring. Why are we not scoring? We were always branded, and has always been branded under McAnthony as the entertainers, right? We can barely register a fucking shot on target, man. It's just shit. It's so fucking bad. And I don't want to swear too much, because I know I'm just annoyed, guys, as you can tell, and it's it's frustrating that I've come back to making videos. I want to make videos about us playing attacking, free-flowing football and scoring plenty of goals, and I want to be positive, but I can't. And I'm so annoyed at this team and the recruitment that's gone into it, and the fact that, again, I don't really want to mention him too much because, like, he seems to sort of thrive off people, like, doing this. But McAnthony, bro, you just got to fix up, man. This recruitment is shocking. You can't be going on Sky Sports and criticising or seeing where Liverpool have gone wrong when we're doing this, man. It's embarrassing, you know. You've got to just swallow your pride sometimes. I know he's a very confident and very you know, he's very sure of himself, right? He doesn't like to admit when he's wrong. But when he did that debate with Up the Poshcast, he went through the whole list of players that he'd signed in the last 18 months or whatever, and they were doing like hit or miss, and the ones that they said were misses, he got so offended, and it's just like, they're shit. They're terrible. These players aren't good enough. Top 6, man. Yeah, bottom 6, more like. Shit. So bad. I don't know what to say about this team. There's not many more words I can give to describe these players, and some of them have credit in the bank, and some of them you can clearly see have the ability, but there's too many that just don't, and there's too many. But there's players that do have the ability and just don't care about this club. They don't care about this club. They see it as a stepping stone, or they're just not bothered at all. You can see the lack of effort of some of these players, and it's embarrassing, man. Our pressing is terrible. We'll have Leonard, who is one of the players that does have credit in the bank. He'll be pressing. I saw one specific phase of play. Leonard got brought on because Lindgren, for some reason, started up front on his own, and we'll talk about that soon. But Leonard was pressing, and so was Jimmy J, right? And Barnsley were just tippy-tapping it between their goalkeeper, centre-back and right-back. Right-back went to the centre-back. Leonard pressed him, went back to the right-back. And Lisbie's in midfield. What are you doing? Like, come on. Just fix up. You got to press as a team, not as individuals. Otherwise, they can just play it around you, and they did. Time and time and time again. I've just got to take a minute, I think, to not get too heated, but I'm just embarrassed at watching this team now. It's not fun. It's boring, and I really just making these videos is a place where I can vent and voice my frustrations. And the one thing I'll never do is go personal to people, right? I'm not gonna insult people personally. I know other people probably would. I heard a few things in the family stand yesterday which I was quite embarrassed by. Like, some of the fans need to just take a minute as well. I know a lot of people, like, football is their life. That's what they do. That's what, you know, that's their thing, right? And it's the same with me, but I'll never go as far as to dig out people personally. This is purely football, and where I get offended is lack of effort. That's something I can't stand for as a fan, and it's probably the same with you guys as well. But it's just shocking. I don't know. I don't know what to say about it. I think the best thing I can do right now is just be passionate about what I'm watching and say it exactly how it is and exactly how I feel. There's no hiding behind results because they're not coming. There's no hiding behind decent performances because they're not coming. And I think a lot of people at this club need to be held accountable. And I think McAnthony has done well. It's a hard one, right? Because he's spending a lot of money, but he's not spending it in the right areas, in my opinion. You know, I think where he gives himself credit is, oh, we're the second biggest spenders in the league, and we're doing this and we're doing that. But if you're putting that money into the wrong places, then you've got to be held accountable for that as well, right? You know, we're spending so much money on players and player wages who just aren't good enough for this level, and more importantly, don't care. In my opinion, anyway, I just don't think enough of these players care about the shirt. And another place where we really need to be held accountable is, again, best in class. Our physio and medical team. What are you guys doing? Why are so many of our players getting injuries? Like, and they're all like muscle injuries, and it's not like someone's gone two-footed on them and snapped their ankle in half, right? It's muscle injuries, and it's fitness. Our fitness is terrible. What are we doing in training? These players, it's December. Like, yeah, we gave them leeway because a lot of them signed late August, right? They needed probably 6 weeks to catch up, get match fitness, like Garbett and Leonard and all these players. Even Jimmy J was only playing the under-21s. They needed that match fitness, but it's been like 2 months now. These players should be fit as anything, ready to run all game, and some of them can't even last to 60 minutes. Like, come on. That's just the basics. I've seen non-league teams do that better than us. They've got players that are, you know, shredded to the bone and can run for 90 minutes. That is the bare minimum that you expect a player to be able to run, right? And players that will press all game, yes, maybe you can sub them off in 70 minutes because they're knackered and they leave it all out there. But these players just don't. And yeah, our injury crisis. Tom O'Connor's injured as well now. This isn't normal, and it's been going on for way too long. A lot of our players were injured last season as well, and it's just like, what are we doing in the medical room? It's so infuriating. Like, these people probably get paid a lot of money, and I can assure that Darryl would have, you know, had a go at them and stuff last season, and I bet he probably did try and get the best in class, or best that he could, right? That's what he means by best in class. He's not going to go and get, I don't know, the Man City physio or whatever, but they really need to look at themselves, because they're just shooting us at the kneecaps, and you know, it's just like, before we even get out on the field, we're struggling to compete because so many of our players are injured, right? And that really needs to be addressed by someone at the club, and just we need more honesty. Like Tom Lees, we don't know what's going on with his contract. Adebisi, we have no idea. Like, there's been no comment of what he was meant to be playing an under-21s football like 3 or 4 weeks ago, and we're not seeing anything. I don't know, is he injured again? Is he not? Like, just tell us, be honest. Or is it gonna be till New Year that we're waiting to see him in the under-21s? Like, just give us some honesty. And like, I think as fans, there's stuff that we don't need to know, right? If it's personal issues, we don't need to know why, and we don't need to know a lot of things. But I think lengths of players' contracts and how long they're injured for is, you know, something that we deserve to know as fans, because we're paying to watch these players, and we're providing money through the club shop and subscriptions, Posh Plus, and that's going towards player wages and stuff like that, right? So we deserve to know what the hell is going on with the money that we're putting in these players' pockets. And it's weird, man. I think the club's at a really strange crossroads where we could really go downhill from here, and it's really concerning. And we've always thrived. Like, even Fergie was so honest in his interviews. Like, if he was asked about a player, he'd say, okay, yeah, they're out for this amount of time. Oh, right, yeah, Kean Hayes, he's out for 3 months, right? I don't expect an exact date, but it's so just blasé, and just like, it doesn't really even get talked about. And it's like, if Adebisi needs another month, then just say, yeah, he'll be back in the new year. You don't need to be like, yeah, he's back on January the 12th or whatever, but just give us some sort of inclination. I think we deserve to know that. And I think too many people at the club are just going unaccounted for these days, and it's quite frustrating. So to wrap this video up, I'm going to get into my player ratings, and I'll try and do a man of the match, I guess, but wow, it was bad. I mean, I don't even think Barnsley were that good. Like, they could have scored like 4 or 5. 1-0 was so flattering for us, but they just had so much room to play. But just before I get into my player ratings, that first goal, what on earth are we doing? Right? They play it out from the back. Their number 3, their defensive midfielder gets the ball, turns. He's got 30 yards of space, man. Literally no one around him. He could have sat down and had a cup of tea. There was no one. Why? We have 3 midfielders. We had Jimmy J at the 10. We had Woods and Keller and Collins on at that point, right? 3 midfielders, and there's no one near him. Like, how has he got that much room? He's not quick. He was a bit of a donkey, right? He literally got the ball, turned. Literally no one around him. Where was the midfield? That happened time and time and time again, and it was just embarrassing how they played for our press so easily. And then they played it to the wing, crossed and scored, right? They could have had so many more goals. There was so many times where they just overhit a through ball, and there was so many times where their striker was through on goal. And it was just mad how it was only 1-0. So, yeah, whatever. Let's get into the player ratings. Bass, I mean, I think he got the sponsors man of the match. I'm just like, fair enough, I guess. I mean, yes, I think he made like 3 saves, but let's be completely honest, they were all straight at him. Like, he's not getting high marks from me. His kicking again was atrocious. So I'll give Bass a 5.5, I think. Yeah, 5.5 for Bass. Dornelly, that is not how you come back into the team, mate. I know it's quite hard to have that big break and then come back into the starting 11, but wow, he was bad yesterday. He didn't really put himself about, and going forward he was terrible. His crosses were awful. He was getting the ball taken. Their number 7 was having an absolute field day with him yesterday. Just spinning him in loops constantly, and yeah, he was really bad. I'm going to give him a 4. 2 centre backs. We started with we had Tom Lees and Okagbue. I'm going to give these a conjoined rating of a 6. I don't think they were that bad. Okagbue, actually no, I'll give Tom Lees a 6 and Okagbue a 7. I actually thought he was pretty good today. He won most of his headers and his tackles and his ground duels and stuff. I thought he was my man of the match. I know you guys probably say 7 is quite high, but I think he was one of the only players that really came away from that game with credit. Tom Lees was just your standard Tom Lees performance. Won a few aerial and ground duels, but nothing really to shout about. I think his pace really showed here. There was one specific that I remember. They were shooting towards the GH end, and it got played through, and he was about 3 or 4 yards in front of his man, and his man just absolutely put the burners on, and just went straight past him like he weren't even there. And I think that's quite concerning. If you've got a team that's going to play it over the top and in behind, he's really not a defender that you want. And I appreciate O'Connor might have played if he was fit, but yeah, not good enough. I think he's definitely lost a yard of pace, and I think it really got exposed yesterday. So yeah, I'll give Lees a 6 and Okagbue a 7. Harley Mills, wow, he was bad again, wasn't he? I mean, if our 2 left backs that we have in rotation is him and Mendy, what a catastrophe. I mean, we used to moan at Dan Butler, right? I'd kill to have Dan Butler at the club right now. Burrows as well. Like, Jesus, the fall from grace we've had in the left back position is frightening, man. I mean, he really lived off that Wembley goal and Wembley performance in general, because he was brilliant on that day. Yeah, he was bad yesterday, man. I'll give him a 5. Collins, he's one of them that's checked out, and that's something that I don't want to see. He's really checked out of this football club. He doesn't want to be here. Even if we get anything from in January, just get him gone. I feel like it's more of a hindrance if he stays here now. He just doesn't look bothered at all, and I think as a 6 you really need to put yourself about, and he just doesn't look arsed. and he's completely checked out of this football club. Just start someone else at this point. Give Keller a run of games with Woods in the 6. We're going to put Woods there anyway, so give him that run of games. Collins, I'll give him a 4.5 to. I thought he was shocking yesterday. Moving on to Ben Woods was his partner. I thought he was all right. Nothing to really shout about. I think the midfield just got played about like nothing yesterday, and there was a lot of times where they went long, so you kind of bypassed the midfield, but they really just got ruined. They were nowhere near their men a lot of the time, and they just got played through like they were just shadows, and it was just... Yeah, it was really disappointing from the midfield yesterday. I didn't really notice too much from Woods, to be honest. I think that free kick that he did, it's terrible. I mean, he had a couple of decent passes, I guess, but if that's something that I'm really clutching at straws here, like there's just nothing that I really remember from his performance. So yeah, I'll give him a 5. I thought he was bad again. So we're moving on to the front 4 now, and the ratings are low. The ratings are very low for these lot. So we had Lisbie starting on the right, and he was really bad. Obviously, I called for him to start over Odo, which is still the right decision. But yeah, he was bad yesterday. He was really bad. There was nothing that he could really do. That was he didn't get past his man once, I don't think, and that's something that he's normally quite good at. He tracked back okay, but yeah, he kept trying to sort of do a few little like dribble moves and stuff past his fullback, but none of them worked. And if he did get past his fullback, his service into the box was shocking, man. And I was really disappointed in him because I really wanted to see him do well and play and whatever. But yeah, he was bad. I'll give him a 4.5. Garbett, he has the award of stinker of the day for me. He was absolutely terrible. I mean, come on. This guy played in the Eredivisie. Garbett's got quality, right? We all know he does, but I think he's playing for himself. I don't think he's playing for the team. He gets frustrated really easily, and when his teammates aren't doing the things that he can do, I guess, like, he gets annoyed. And I get the frustration when he was playing well, but he hasn't played well in a while, and I don't think he's had a good game under Williams. I really don't. Yesterday really showed. I mean, there was a few times where he just got the ball and dribbled straight into his man. Like, come on, you're better than that. You're an international footballer, mate. Like, you got to fix up. Like, this isn't good enough. You're not putting in the effort, and you were just terrible yesterday. You really were. I'm gonna give him a 3. I thought he was really, really bad. And then we had Frith on the other side, ineffective, offered absolutely nothing yesterday. Bit like Lisbie. Yeah, I barely remember him getting the ball as much, and when he did, he just dribbled straight into his man, and his service into the box again was shocking. 4.5 for Frith. And then Lindgren, I mean, what can you say about Gustav? I mean, I don't want to mark him too low because he was absolutely starved today. I mean, Garbett offered him nothing, the wingers offered him nothing, but he kept getting long balls. I just felt sorry for him, man. He kept getting long balls played into him, and that's not his game. And I felt sorry for him. I thought they just didn't give him a chance whatsoever. And when he did get the ball, I mean, he had nothing around him. I don't want to be too harsh. I mean, I'll give him a 5.5. So I'll give him a 6. I can't give him a low rating because I just felt sorry for the bloke, and he had absolutely nothing going for him. So yeah, 6 for Gustav. The subs, again, I'll quickly go through the subs. I'll give them all a 5. I can't really give them too big or too low of a rating because they didn't do anything to affect the game, but they didn't do anything terrible either. So yeah, I'll just quickly brush over Odo. I'm not going to go too hard in on Odo because I thought that he was fine when he came on. Nothing good, nothing bad. But I said in my last preview that the fans are really going to start turning on Odo, and it can get really ugly if we keep playing him. And the fans have already turned on Odo. You know, he got booed heavily as well, heavily when he came on. You know, there was audible boos from a loud section of the fan base, and you know, that can't be good for him. I think he just needs to be taken out of the matchday squad for a bit and then play under 21s football or something, because I feel like he's going to be on that tipping point where I don't want it to get too bad for him. You know, I want him to be fine mentally in himself, and I feel like he's one of them players that really thrives off the backing from the crowd. A bit like Joel Randall. We used to, you know, we really got behind Randall that one season. I feel like he thrived off that, and I feel like Odo's the same, and he's getting booed, man. And I think it's best for him, his mental health and his well-being, that he's just taken out of the firing line a little bit, because he's not good enough, and I just don't want it to get ugly. And I'll quickly wrap up by just saying that, you know, it feels like the chairman's kind of given up on this season. If he doesn't sign anyone in January, definitely has. The manager, I just don't know where he goes from here. The players look like they don't give a shit, and to be honest, the fans are slowly giving up as well, and I don't blame them. 4,100 people there yesterday, really bad attendance, and it just shows that, you know, the players just don't care anymore, and the fans are reciprocating that in kind. And I mean, I'm not going to give up on this team, but I say that, but I feel like I'm there already, man, and it's hard. But yeah, guys, sorry this is a bit of a rambling, ranty video again, but I just need to get it off my chest, because there's a lot of this club going on right now which I really don't like, and it's quite frustrating, and it's just sad to see, in all honesty. So I hope you guys did enjoy the video. Give it a like if you did. Comment down below what you thought on the game and my video in general, and make sure you subscribe to the channel with notification bell turned on. We're very close to 400 subscribers, so if we get there before the end of the year, that would be absolutely spectacular. So yeah, that's it from me. All I've got left to say is cheers.